Now, Urney has a connection with someone else who is very famous, and that's a gentleman called William Burke. Now, William Burke was born in Urney in County Tyrone here in 1792, and he died on the 20th of January 1829 in Edinburgh in Scotland. Now, he was born one of two sons to a middle class Roman Catholic family. Both William and his brother Constantine had a comfortable upbringing, and both joined the military as teenagers. So they didn't go to this church. As I say, they were brought up Roman Catholics, but they were from the Urney area. Now, William served in the Donegal militia for 5 years until he met and married a County Mayo woman, where they later settled. The marriage, however, was short-lived. In 1818, William deserted his wife and two children, one of them dying in infancy, over a land dispute with his father-in-law. So he moved to Scotland and he got a job working on the Union Canal. He set up home with a lady named Helen MacDougall, whom he affectionately named Nellie, in Modeston, where he was living, a wee Scottish village, and she became his common law wife, as both of them were actually still married. See a wee bit of woodland there. And an old shade there as well. And building. So I'm not sure what that building was. Just have to be careful here with my bad knees. I have my crutch with me, thankfully. That's an old building there, possibly a house in its day, I would assume. She's falling down now, okay. She's definitely ruined, as you can see. Would have been a nice house in its day. Wallpaper's still on there. So we'll try now and get back out of here if we can. So after the canal work dried up, they moved to Edinburgh, and it was here that they met with another Irishman called William Hare, and the two men became friends, and Burke and MacDougall actually moved in with her and his wife Margaret. And Margaret, of course, was also an Irish immigrant, as was her husband, William Hare. And so they moved into their lodgings, which was at Tanner's Close, the lodging house, where the two couples soon acquired a reputation for hard drinking and boisterous behaviour. Now, in the 19th century, Edinburgh was one of the leading European centres of anatomical study. And this, of course, is the teaching of anatomy, and it was crucial in the study of surgery and required a sufficient supply of human corpses. Now, demand began to outstrip supply, and so to keep up with the constant demand for corpses, men started to rob graves, or in other words, grave robbers, also known as resurrection men and resurrectionists. Now, it was quite a lucrative business, believe it or believe it not. Back then, a corpse could fetch £8 in the summer and £10 in the winter. The reason why you got more for a corpse in the winter was because it lasted longer, where in the summer it was quicker to decompose with the heat. Now, by the 1820s, the residents of Edinburgh had taken to the streets to protest against the increase in grave robbing, because the last thing you wanted when your departed loved one was buried was some idiot coming to make a quick buck and dig him up and sell him for study. So to protect the bodies of their dead loved ones, the bereaved families used several techniques in order to deter the thieving body snatchers. So one way was to build a watchtower, and so watchtowers were erected in various graveyards. In fact, some of those watchtowers actually saw gunfights between the relatives of those guarding the bodies and the grave robbers who came to steal the bodies. Believe it or believe it not. Another way for a family to protect their deceased loved one was what's known as mort safes, which basically was an iron cage that surrounded the coffin. That's an old wee building there too, isn't it? It would remind you of an outside loo. So it would.